With 2018 almost at an end, I thought we would look back before we look forward, just like we've been doing the past few years, and do a ranking of the DLCs that came out in Grand Theft Auto Online for 2018. Now, technically, there were only 3 DLCs, and it seems like with each passing year, Rockstar is putting out less and less DLCs. For one thing, Grand Theft Auto Online is over 5 years old now, and it's to be expected, especially now with Red Dead Redemption 2 out and Red Dead Online Beta, most likely getting more content, hopefully by early 2019, that they're going to be shifting a lot more of the focus over to Red Dead Online Beta, eventually Red Dead Online once they take away the name Beta, and hopefully a Red Dead Redemption 2 DLC. That would be nice as well. But anyways, back to Grand Theft Auto Online. We did get 3 DLCs throughout 2018, and we're going to rank them right here. By the way, let me know below, how would you rank the DLCs that came out in Grand Theft Auto Online in 2018? What was some of your favorite content from 2018? What was some of your least favorite content? Whatever you want to say about 2018 in Grand Theft Auto Online DLC-wise, feel free and chime in below in the comment section. First off, let's start things with number 3. Back in spring 2018, March 20th, Southern San Andreas Super Sports Series launched. And this was a pretty small update, but this is not to be expected in 2017 and 2016. We also had small updates to Grand Theft Auto Online. The Southern San Andreas Super Sports Series was no exception. It was perhaps the longest named update, and one of those names that you could screw up real easily. But we got a total of 13 vehicles. I would say the 2 that I liked the most were the Ellie as well as the Dominator. We got several new racing modes. The Hot Ring Circuit, which was kind of like a NASCAR for stunt racing. Then we had the new Special Circuit update, which added 3 new vehicles and several tracks featuring the Deluxo, Thruster, as well as the Stromberg to the Special Circuit races. And we had some new Transform races, as well as another new race mode called Target Assault Races. We also got 7 classic racing suits. Now, this obviously was catered towards the racing community within Grand Theft Auto Online. So right there is kind of sort of an issue, because not everybody in Grand Theft Auto Online cares for racing. Now, the Hot Ring Circuit, which I think has been renamed to that longer name, the San Andreas series. I'm not going to say the whole name again. Takes forever. But the Hot Ring Circuit, as I'm still calling it, which featured the Hot Ring Saber, was fun for those of us that kind of liked going around in an oval on several maps. But even for those of us that enjoyed the Hot Ring Circuit, it quickly got old. The next failure was the Target Assault Races, and it was a very weird type of race. It was like a team race. It was a driver and a gunner, and it was based on not only your position in the race, but also how many targets the gunner hit in various types of vehicles. But at the end, it was very lackluster. Once the double money opportunities went away for Hot Ring Saber, as well as Target Assault Races, people stopped playing them. I would say the Special Vehicle Circuit races featuring the Deluxo, Thruster, and Stromberg were probably the more enjoyable of the new races added. The new Transform races have always been hit or miss. Now, with the vehicles, the first thing that was introduced that raised a lot of eyebrows was these flags that were added. A lot of the vehicles could have been way better if the flags would have been tweaked a little bit or completely removed. But then again, some of the vehicles, there was reason behind the flags, because without the flags, a lot of the really extremely expensive supercars, like the Tesseract, for example, or the Tyrant, would basically be bouncing everywhere and flying all over the place uncontrollably. So there's 2 points of view when it came to the new handling flags that were added to vehicles in 2018. First and foremost with the Southern San Andreas Super Sports Series. Despite the fact that my 2 favorite cars added were the Ellie and Dominator GTX, they both could have been so much more in the muscle class. They both performed terribly, and that's very unfortunate, because I feel like the muscle class should be a lot more competitive. And when you have vehicles based on like a modern Mustang, as well as the old like Ellie from like Gone in 60 Seconds, that's where the name comes from, I was expecting these two muscle cars to be way better overall performance-wise than they were. But then again, that's probably the case for a lot of the vehicles, sports and supers, that came with this quote-unquote racing update. Overall, very disappointed, and no surprise that it's in third place. Moving up to number 2 on our list of best DLCs for 2018, After Hours, which came out in the summer, July 19th, featuring the return of a Grand Theft Auto favorite all the way back from Liberty City, Gay Tony, along with Laszlo, English Dave. The After Hours update was a different type of update, but many enjoyed this one because it introduced nightclubs, 10 locations scattered throughout Los Santos, with a bit of interior upgrading to the nightclubs. You had 9 predefined names, along with the ability to choose from those names and interior color schemes, and real-life DJs that they rolled in over the various weeks following After Hours coming up, that you could actually have performing their music in your nightclubs, including Solomon, Tell of Us, Dixon, along with the Black Madonna. And each one had a specific mission to go pick them up. Overall, the missions weren't too terribly exciting. In hindsight, neither was this update. It was different, and the music is fantastic from all these DJs, and it was cool to see the return of Gay Tony, as well as Laszlo playing more of a role in Grand Theft Auto Online. He's been around since Grand Theft Auto 3, plus, he's based off the real-life person, Laszlo, who is kind of important in the history of Rockstar Games, all the way back from Grand Theft Auto 3, in charge of a lot of the radio stations when it comes to various GTAs, including Grand Theft Auto 5 and most likely Grand Theft Auto 6 whenever that comes out, sooner rather than later, hopefully. But he's also one of the writers that's part of Rockstar. So Laszlo has always been a character that I've enjoyed both in real life as well as throughout the Grand Theft Auto series. A new character, English Dave, was also introduced. Kind of a bookie for the real-life DJs. But it was interesting that they actually got real DJs out there like Solomon, Tell of Us, Dixon, and the Black Madonna, along with their music, to add a little bit more realism to the nightclubs. And the nightclubs are successful based on the popularity level. And you can increase the popularity level through 2 ways. Either A, doing these club promotions around the map. And mostly it was set around Los Santos. You could fly around in the blimp. You could drop pamphlets out of a helicopter. You could put posters on walls and drive around celebrities that would be bringing people to the nightclub via their social medias and their status. And it didn't really pay that well, but it was kind of fun. But after a while, the promotion missions got very repetitive. Fortunately, there was another way to add promotion to get that popularity up to the nightclubs, and that was simply paying $10,000 to switch the DJ. So that's what a lot of people do now. They switch the DJs from Solomon to Dixon to Tell of Us to Black Madonna without having to go through the hassle of going out there, boosting the nightclub promotion-wise, only making a little bit of money. But some other things that were included in free roam for both invite friend lobbies as well as public lobbies was a new mode called Business Battles, which was very well received and is still quite popular. In fact, it was used most recently in an event in Grand Theft Auto Online we'll talk about. So it's kind of like, I guess, the old school crate drops or special crate drops from last gen Grand Theft Auto Online, Xbox 360 and PS4, where there would be a crate that would spawn, or in a car or a vehicle or at a location, and you had the ability to go get that crate in the business battle and bring it back to your nightclub, and whatever the material happened to be, whether it was cargo, weapons, etc., it would go down into the nightclub warehouse, because below the nightclubs that Laszlo and Tony were running, not really running because you have to do everything while they hang out and complain that the popularity goes down. It would be nice if they actually got out there and did some work themselves, but anyways, it's always on you, isn't it, in this game? Below the nightclub is the warehouse. So it kind of makes the nightclub kind of a, I guess, a front operation for you. The warehouse was basically a hub of many previous things like some of the biker businesses, along with cargo, etc. And just like with those, it has a passive income ability that builds up, and eventually you're able to go out there and sell whatever you're collecting in the nightclub in order to make money in Grand Theft Auto Online, similar to all the other means of passive income. Several vehicles were introduced, including 6 on launch day. My 2 favorites were probably the Jester Classic as well as the Swinger. The Jester Classic was actually originally supposed to come out with the Southern San Andreas Super Sports Series as a sports classic, but it had a number of issues, and Rockstar decided to hold off releasing the Jester Classic until after hours, and then they changed its classing from Sports Classic to Sports, which makes no sense because it's still called the Jester Classic. Another issue is the Jester and the Jester Classic don't really have anything to do with each other when it comes to like their real-life counterparts. Several other vehicles were added, which include a few of them like the Terabyte, the Scramjet, the B-11 Strike Force, which is based off the A-10 Warthog, the Stafford, which was an old-school Rolls-Royce, as well as the Blimp, which originally was in Grand Theft Auto 5, but Rockstar decided to add it to Grand Theft Auto Online and give it several different livery options for you to choose from. And the final vehicle that I'll mention is probably one of the most controversial vehicles to be added to date, is the Broomstick, aka the Oppressor Mark II. That came out with the Terabyte. Now, the cool thing about the Terabyte is it features the return of Paige Harris from Heist, as well as Grand Theft Auto 5 Story, as well as new client jobs. And the client jobs were a good way to make money in Grand Theft Auto Online in free roam, in either friend lobby, invite lobby, or even a public lobby if you wish to be brave. So they added client jobs through the Terabyte, and the Terabyte added drones, as well as this SAM system on the Terabyte, which, to be honest, isn't very good. I wouldn't get it if I were you. But we also got, I think, a whole bunch of clothing. I think at least, according to GTA Wiki, over 250 pieces of new clothing. And we also got a Red Dead Redemption 2 treasure hunt. We have had 2 treasure hunts so far for Red Dead Redemption 2. Bear in mind, this came out prior to Red Dead Redemption 2. We got the Stone Hatchet treasure hunt, which was done through mod. In my opinion, the treasure hunt was a lot of fun. It was more like a bounty hunt, because you would go into this area, do some bounty huntings. Once you did enough bounty, you would get the Stone Hatchet, which would be available for you eventually in Red Dead Redemption 2, along with previously the Golden Double Action Revolver. And along with the Double Action Revolver, the Stone Hatchet also would give you an additional $250,000 in Grand Theft Auto Online by killing enough NPC with headshots with the Stone Hatchet. So I did enjoy doing the Stone Hatchet treasure hunt a little bit more than the Double Action treasure hunt, but both were kind of cool weapons that they added in the game. And it was also a cross promotion from Grand Theft Auto Online to Red Dead Redemption 2. So overall, After Hours was definitely a different DLC, and it might be some people's favorite DLC of 2018, but in my opinion, it was, in the end, kind of lackluster. The Terabyte was probably the big thing with the client jobs, but at the same time, it's also more infamous because in order to have the Broomstick, aka the Griefer's weapon of choice in the Mark II Oppressor, you have to have a Terabyte. So it's kind of a good and bad thing that we got the Terabyte. My vehicles that stood out, as I mentioned, were probably the Scramjet, which was kind of fun, the B-11 Strike Force, which was actually buffed a little bit for its cannon. Its cannon wasn't as good when it came out in the After Hours update. And surprisingly, I like the Stafford. I'm not really one of those types of people that likes to drive around in a Rolls Royce, but I like the old school 1930s look of the Stafford. So it's a very elegant car, and it's definitely something different in Grand Theft Auto Online. But there was also a lot of vehicles that were drip-fed out that were in the end very forgettable. And there was this extremely long drought period from somewhere in September till December where we got no new content in Grand Theft Auto Online. Rockstar did add a few of the older vehicles to the Southern San Andreas Autos website, vehicles that you could easily get by simply going around Los Santos or Southern San Andreas and stealing them if you really wanted your own Penumbra or Perry or one of those other vehicles. They did add some new liveries to older vehicles as well, which was interesting. But at the same time, I think most people probably didn't really care one way or the other about those liveries for vehicles that already existed in the game. Still, it was cool that they did that for those vehicles. I think there were some adversary modes added throughout 2018 as well, but as some of you know, I really don't care for adversary modes, and to be honest, none of those adversary modes really stood out for me. Like, you know, for example, Deadline or Overtime Rumble. There were some remix adversary modes they did roll out. They were okay, but to be honest, take it or leave it. They were fun with friends, viewers, and subscribers, but trying to play them with randos, not so much. All right, so there we go. Third place, Southern San Andreas Super Sports Series. Second place, After Hours, which means there's only one left. At number 1, the most recent update to Grand Theft Auto Online, following the long drought, thanks in part to a small game called Red Dead Redemption 2. We finally got a new update to Grand Theft Auto Online. December 11th, 2018, Arena War, which was a surprise. Rockstar promoted it Monday in a newswire and launched it the next day. Now, a lot of us had believed that we were going to see a December update because for the past several years in Grand Theft Auto Online, December has been a pretty big update. For example, in 2017, we had the Doomsday Heist, and if you look back at 2016 and 2015, those were big updates as well to Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, Arena War, just like previous December updates, also included another update of sorts, like put in with it along with the download whenever it launched on December 7th. Festive Surprise 2018, which wasn't promoted as heavily as previous Festive Surprises, but still I lump it in with the Arena War as part of the ranking as to why Arena War is number 1. But first off, let's talk about Arena War. We got a whole bunch of new clothing items, and there was this theme of Apocalypse, Future Shock, and Nightmare. Now, when it came to the 3 clothing types, I'd say the best was most likely Apocalypse, aka Mad Max. That's basically what Apocalypse is. So Rockstar finally made a use out of the Maze Bank Arena. Now this is something that's been rumored for quite a while, that Rockstar had been working on some sort of thing to do for us with the arena. This has been years in the making, I believe, because I remember a lot of other YouTubers talking about it, a lot of images and very low-res CGI being leaked out by leakers. So I think that Rockstar's been working on something regarding the Maze Bank Arena for a long time now, and they were finally able to roll it out there just a few weeks ago, December 11th, 2018, with Arena War. So you have the ability to buy a garage space as well as Arena War Workshop. I think it's a minimum of nearly $1 million to buy it, and there are 7 Arena War modes that launched with the update, and some of them are good, some of them not so much. Also introduced is the brand new AP system, and in order to use the AP system, you first and foremost have to own the Arena Workshop. Now, the cool thing about the Arena Workshop is you can also store and customize standard vehicles. Now, you can't add any weapons or anything to the standard vehicles, but the one thing that you can do in the Arena Workshop that you cannot do in any other garage, whether it's your personal garage space, in the executive office, or Los Santos Customs, is Rockstar finally added the ability for us to have different headlight colors, like reds, blues, greens, etc. All you got to do is bring in your Pariah, other vehicles. If you want to change the color of your headlights, you can do that at your Arena Workshop. Now, the AP system is a new ranking system exclusively to Arena War, and Arena War featured 12 vehicles, which is interesting because some of them are actually new vehicles and some of them are updates of vehicles already added to previous updates. The ones that stood out for me probably would include the Imperator, based off the Ford Falcon from Australia, Mad Max's car from the Mad Max series. I love that car, by the way. The Impaler, as well as the Scarab, the ZR380, and there were several others as well. And as I mentioned, there were vehicles that already existed, like the Rat Truck, the Slam Van, along with the Glendale, the IC Classic, a few others too, that have been repurposed in order to be usable in the Arena War. And there's 3 variations, once again, that you can make your vehicle look like: Apocalypse, Future Shock, Nightmare. And even the Dominator, the old school tried and true Dominator that you could take off the streets, can be used in the Arena War, but you first have to upgrade it. At first I thought it was $100,000. I made the mistake of missing a digit. It's actually nearly $1 million. So yeah, the Arena War is an extremely expensive update in Grand Theft Auto Online, which is definitely one of the downsides of this update, but that's nothing new. A lot of the updates in this game have been extremely expensive, and it seems like they seem to get more expensive with each passing year. Arena War is no exception. Now, obviously, with all these updates, Rockstar has day 1 launched content, specifically in the vehicles, and then they also have stuff that's locked that they plan on using in drip feeding, aka Dripocalypse 2018. Now, a few vehicles have already come out, which include the Pegassi Toros, which is based off the Lamborghini Urus Super SUV. That came out a couple weeks ago. On Christmas Day, we got a new muscle car, the Vapid Click. And this past week, we got another sports car, the Grotti Italia GTO, which is based off of Ferrari. And in the Arena War, we have a new RC car called the RC Bandito, which actually is from previous Grand Theft Auto games. And the GTO goes all the way back to the original Grand Theft Auto, in case some of you didn't realize that. But back to the RC Bandito. Some of you may remember that from some of the 3D Grand Theft Autos. Eventually, that's going to be purchasable as well, but you can use it and play with it in some of the Arena War modes. But it's going to be extremely expensive when it rolls out sometime in 2019. There's also more vehicles coming throughout the year. Probably the first early month or 2 of 2019. That's probably the lifespan, or maybe 3 months. I guess we'll see how long that lasts. And there's going to be more Arena War modes. There's already been 2 added. Buzzer Beater, I think, and Ball Bomb, or Bomb Ball. Both of them were very subpar. Not exactly Arena War modes that people are enjoying too much. There's way better Arena War modes that have been launched on day 1 for Arena War mode than those 2. So hopefully whatever other Arena War modes Rockstar has planned are better than these first 2 that have been dripped out. The AP level allows for Arena War skill levels, which go all the way up to rank 1,000. And eventually you can unlock different vehicles the higher your level is in the Arena War. A few examples: I think at rank 20, you get the Go-Go like Ballista, which a lot of people have been wanting from Grand Theft Auto 5. I think at rank 75, you get the Clown Van. Then you get the Space Stalker at rank 500. And eventually, if you reach rank 1,000 in the Arena War, which is probably going to take an extremely long time, you will get the Tractor. Yes, the old, slow Tractor. But first, you'll get the Space Stalker, another vehicle that a lot of people have wanted from Grand Theft Auto 5. That, once again, is at rank 500. Once again, that's probably going to take a while to achieve. Now let's move over to Festive 2018, Festive Surprise 2018, which I technically consider part of the Arena War since obviously it was lumped in with the update on December 11th. It just was slowly unlocked following the Arena War update. It featured the return of snow throughout Christmas weekend. Possibly we'll see more snow New Year's Eve and New Year's Day before it goes away once again. The return of the quote-unquote free Festive Surprise masks and clothing that you can wear until Rockstar once again takes that back along with the snow. But we also got some new login content that I think we're going to be able to keep, which were these really awesome festive sweaters. I think there's over a dozen of them total. Some of them are reskin, like blue, red, green versions, but they still, all of them look really, really sweet. And you got them by doing several activities in Grand Theft Auto Online, including the event cargo business battles, which went on through, I think, December 27th. And that's when 5 of the sweaters were given away, along with a Christmas tent for the Up and Atomizer ray gun. And this is a lot of fun. This little gun is so much fun. People were able to also log in on Christmas Day to get the gun if they weren't able to get it through the event cargo in business battles. And there was also some free gifts that Rockstar gave out throughout Festive Surprise 2018, which is always a good thing. And these were pretty big gifts, not just the rare festive sweaters, but on Christmas Day, everyone had the ability to get a free purchase of the new muscle car, the Vapid Click on the 25th of December. Then on the 28th of December, everyone had the ability to log in to get a free Buzzard attack helicopter, which is one of my favorite attack helicopters in the game. It's been a workhorse for me for doing contact missions and VIP work and simply just getting around the map from point A to point B. The old faithful Buzzard attack helicopter, which has been in the game since day one back in 2013, available on December 28th, which is something hopefully a lot of the newer players in Grand Theft Auto Online took advantage of, because that is a very good helicopter to have in your inventory. And then on the 31st, New Year's Eve, the Insurgent pickup was a free purchase for anybody that happened to log in on December 31st, 2018. And of course, there's going to be more updates to the Arena War, along with some more weapons, courtesy of the quote-unquote Republican Space Rangers, which, by the way, includes the up-and-atomizer ray gun. There's two more coming out. One is a laser gun version of the machine gun, and another one is a laser version of the minigun. They're basically just reskin versions of those guns, but they do look kind of cool, but they are extremely expensive. One big issue that I had with Arena War, besides the fact that everything was so expensive, was that Rockstar implemented the buy it now trade price option to clothing as well as masks. Yes, we got a lot of clothing, we got a lot of masks added, courtesy of Arena War and some other stuff as well. But similar to a lot of the vehicles that they've been adding over the years, you know, tied around heists or doomsday heists or gun running, smuggler's run, etc., there would be this buy it now price, which was the more expensive price, or if you did something in the game, you could eventually get a discounted price for these vehicles. But Rockstar took it to a whole new level when it came to the clothing, to the masks, and other new items added courtesy of the Arena War buy it now versus trade price. Further encouraging you to grind the Arena War mode in order to get enough AP in order to unlock the discounted prices for certain clothing items, mods for vehicles. I think even vehicle prices, I believe, also have a trade price, discount price, the quote-unquote Arena War vehicles. A lot of the other vehicles obviously do, as I just pointed out. But it's going to take a very long time for people to get the discounted prices for all that content that was added in Grand Theft Auto Online. It just makes me wonder, was this the means to get more money out of us, Rockstar, or to try to force us to like go at Arena War and just grind the hell out of it? Even after a while, we start to get extremely bored with Arena War. And it really does depend on what the future modes that will be added to Arena War will entail, whether they'll be good or bad. Plus, another potential positive to Arena War is apparently we are getting an Arena War creator. So the creating community in Grand Theft Auto Online that's made awesome races, death matches, LTSs, will have a go at potentially making some really good variations of the Arena War modes, like Wreck It, for example, some of the others too. So hopefully the creator mode itself will add life to the Arena War mode. Hopefully. But overall, wasn't really impressed with the DLCs that came out in Grand Theft Auto Online. Yes, we ranked them. Yes, I call it best DLCs of 2018. But I think we have had better DLCs in previous years for Grand Theft Auto Online. I hope a lot of that had to do with Rockstar focusing their efforts on getting Red Dead Redemption 2 ready for launch, as well as Red Dead Online. And hopefully in 2019, Rockstar is going to go back to more even Steven when it comes to new content for Red Dead Online, as well as Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, they've mentioned in several news wires and interviews that they're not going to kill off Grand Theft Auto Online because obviously it still makes money for Take-Two and Rockstar. There's still plenty of people playing it every week, but that number is going down, sadly. But that's to be expected because this game's over 5 years old. But then again, World of Warcraft is over 100 years old and people are still playing that. Anyways, feel free, let me know your thoughts, your views, your opinions regarding the DLCs and the content of these DLCs that came out for Grand Theft Auto Online in 2018 below in the comments section.